Story 1. I don't like country music, but a few years ago, I was driving my car in Arizona. I heard the best line ever. Half of me wants a beer and the other half does too. It's the best country lyric I've ever heard. Story 2. You tell your boyfriend that if he says he has a problem, you are a vegetarian and you are not afraid of him. Story 3. You can criticize me all the way to the bank. My single is #1, and Shabba doesn't rank. Story 4. It always makes me laugh that Akon was trying to find the words to describe this girl without being disrespectful. After exhausting all options, under no pressure whatsoever, he ended up with sexy woman. Story 5. I'm a sexual predator. Better alert the neighbors because they desperate housewives are just my flavor. Darth Vader pulling out my lightsaber, and they like my hard candy, calling it now and later. Story 6. The song STFU by Pink Guy Joji is genuinely funny, especially in contrast to his more recent music. The first time I heard this song was during an argument with one of my ex-friends. I really should have sent it to her. Story 7. I don't want to see a ghost. That's the sight that I fear most. I'd rather have a piece of toast and watch the evening news. Story 8. We fired our cannon until the barrel melted down. Then we grabbed an alligator and fought another round. We filled his head with cannonballs and powdered his behind. And when we ignited the powder, the alligator lost his mind. Battle of New Orleans, Johnny Horton. Story 9. There's a picture opposite me of my primitive ancestry, which stood on rocky shores and kept the beaches free of shipwrecks. I respect that a lot. I would be fired if that were my job after eliminating Jason and countless screaming Argonauts. Story 10. The song is funnier with different lyrics. Hey, listen guys, it's not that difficult. All you have to do is change moss to holiday. Instead of saying white, you have to say, I'm dreaming of a holiday. Why did I get bleeped? You have to say Caucasian. So I have to sing, I'm dreaming of a Caucasian holiday. I'm sure that won't offend anyone. Story 11. She tells him she is in church, but she doesn't go. Still, she is on her knees and Scotty doesn't know. The song was killed long ago by karaoke bars, but the lyrics still make me smile. Story 12. When I turn on my TV, I see nothing but inappropriate content. There's no more family-friendly programming in a perfect world. I also think someone has dropped a steamer in the gene pool. The angry mob mentality is no longer the exception. It has become the rule. I feel like Charlton Heston stranded on a planet of primates, where apes and orangutans have run it into the ground. Story 13. Do you think you are truly righteous? Do you believe you are pure at heart? Well, I know I am a million times more humble than you are. Story 14. I told her I am so happy I could die. She said, drop dead, then left with another guy. Story 15. I have a quirky old lady named Cocaine Katie who embroiders on my jeans. I have my poor old gray-haired daddy driving my limousine. Now it's all designed to amaze us, but our minds won't really be blown. Like the excitement you'll feel when you get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. I had to search for the exact wording, but it always makes me laugh when I listen to this song. Story 16. There is a face in every window of the songwriter's neighborhood. Everyone is your best friend when you are doing well. Warren Zevon. Genius. Story 17. She performed that piece with remarkable skill. The amount of production that went into that song, without anyone noticing, is hilarious. Story 18. Some people believe in astrology. Others believe in technology. Some people believe in various ologies. But I believe in swordfish. He believes in swordfish. I believe in happy days. I believe in Joni Loves Chachi. I believe in all that television content. And I believe in swordfish. He believes in swordfish. I came up from the ghetto with the help of my stiletto. Every day I hear the people groan. Why should we buy postage stamps? We can make our own. We may be doing something wrong. We could be running a little too long. I guess we better end this song. I say I believe in swordfish. He believes in swordfish. Story 19. The entire lyrics of the 1930s song My Girl's Pussy by Harry Roy, particularly these two sections, make me chuckle, given the song came out nearly 100 years ago. Often it goes out at night, returns at break of dawn. No matter what the weather's like, it's always nice and warm. It's never dirty, always clean. In giving thrills, never mean, but it's the best I've ever seen. It's my girl's pussy. Story 20. I thought I had to tell you, had to put it in a letter, but I decided it was better to write a song. The only way to really let you know is to prove it, and I did. It was purely by accident. She got me really drunk and then made me kiss her. You know why? That's right, your mother has a penis. Story 21. There is a man with a mullet going wild with a mallet in millets. National Shite Day. Half man, half biscuit. Story 22. He asked if she wanted it pasteurized, as pasteurized is best. She replied, Ernie, I'll be happy if it comes up to my chest. Story 23. Dear old dad, God rest his soul. He would wake up in the morning and smoke a bowl. He would hit my mom upside the head. Make me a sandwich, is what he said. Story 24. I went home with the waitress the way I always do. How was I to know she was with the Russians too? Story 25. The funniest song lyric? Frank Zappa created a four-sided concept album about the time he put his genitals in a vacuum cleaner when he was a child. It's called Joe's Garage. Story 26. I have only ever heard the part of the song that plays at the president's birthday party in the movie National Treasure. Book of Secrets, but I remember it because the line was, is it still over? Are we still through? Since my phone still isn't ringing, I'll assume it still isn't you. Story 27. But it's hard to get by when your backside is the size of a small country. National Express by The Divine Comedy. Story 28. I love your figure because it shows that I can focus on two things at once. Kanye has a lot to choose from, to be honest. Story 29. My foreign friend doesn't know where she's from. I don't want to be prejudiced. I don't associate with negativity. Story 30. Since one person's trash is another person's treasure, you get no part of my weed, but you can have my friend Heather. Story 31. You know I got the charm and confidence. As someone who listens to K-pop, I could probably create a whole playlist of songs with funny lyrics, to be honest. Story 32. Twice a week, I take a peek. As you bathe, like a reptile, I catch your eye, and you throw your sponge. It's a soaking projectile. I love that band. Story 33. Good for nothing, bad in bed. Nobody likes you, you're better off dead. Goodbye, nobody likes you. Goodbye. Story 34. When I am alone at night, I sit and fantasize. In my fantasies, I love you for a long time. While doing my work, I think about you. I have to make you mine. Story 35. Apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur. It's the only time I will sing along to a song. Hilarious. Story 36. Took my boy to the barnyard and sat him down for supper. Now he choked on a turkey leg and stuck his nose in the butter. Story 37. Around the fire doing a thunder dance. You know what's a funny word? Underpants. Let's go to Syria and have a war. Stop calling me Macklemore. Story 38. With the help of my hellhounds, Tinkles and Gary, Ninja Sex Party songs are consistently hilarious. Story 39. And we played the first thing that came to our minds, and it just so happened to be the best song in the world. Story 40. Every time I pluck my pubic hairs to make myself attractive, I feel discomfort and perform poorly. Story 41. My balls are always bouncing to the left and to the right. I believe that my big balls should be held every night. Story 42. From Freakin' at the Freaker's Ball by Dr. Hook, written by Shel Silverstein. Come on, babies, grease your lips. Grab your hats and swing your hips. Don't forget to bring your whips. We're going to the Freaker's Ball. The runner-up for me is by the Asylum Street Spankers. Two necrophiliacs lying in bed, wishing the other was dead. The band's Pussycats is legendary for its timing. Story 43. You're so beautiful. You could be a part-time model, but you'd probably still have to keep your normal job. Story 44. Punk Country Love by Ray Stevens. Roll and smoke some corn silk. Get laid back and mellow. Snort some boiled oatmeal. Fill that waterbed with jello. We'll get you a big tattoo and me a couple of earrings. The chorus is something along the lines of, we can staple the chickens together and watch them flop around the yard, handcuff the hired hand, and grease him down with lard. Whap me upside the head with some punk country. Here's another cat song. My cat was scratching on my back door. Scratch so long, poor cat got sore. Sore cat, just a friendly little cat. My cat was sitting on my front step. Sat so long the cat got wet. Wet cat, sore wet cat, just a friendly little cat. It goes on and on. All I can remember off the top of my head. Story 45. I glued my belongings to myself again. Oh my goodness. What did I do? I started to thrust the grill on a bus. It took off at full speed and caused me injury. The first two thoughts I had were about the music I was enjoying as I witnessed this. Story 46. There is a song by a 1970s Australian rock band called The Angels. They performed a song titled, Am I Ever Gonna See Your Face Again? During a live performance at a pub. The chorus goes, Am I ever gonna see your face again? At one point, someone from the audience yelled, No way! Get lost! The entire audience then joined in the response at the top of their voices. Stuck. Whenever that song is played, someone will call out, No way! Get lost! And in your mind, that response just keeps replaying. It should be part of the Australian citizenship test. Story 47. 1947, I'm My Own Grandpa, is a song that tells the story of a man who marries a widow with a grown daughter who later marries the man's single father. Story 48. I'm afraid of the dark, especially when I'm in a park and there's no one else around. Ooh, I get the shivers. I don't want to see a ghost. It's a sight that I fear most. I'd rather have. Story 49. I am hung like the planet Pluto, hard to see with the naked eye. But if I crashed into Uranus, I would stick it where the sun doesn't shine. I'm kind of like Han Solo, always stroking my own Wookiee. I'm the root of all that's evil, yes, but you can call me Cookie. Story 50. Such a good boy when I was 18, but I smoked marijuana and drank alcohol, and then my brain turned into mush. Don't be like me, kids. I'm fried. Story 51. It has to be cannabis with his line about having more cash but lacking the skills to outperform him. Story 52. I might have offended your sister, but I'll never disrespect your mother. A few verses later, I might not tell the truth all the time. Hey, what is your mother's number? Story 53. It's actually too explicit to share here to avoid potential issues. Please look up the lyrics to I Come Blood by the band Cannibal Corpse. Story 54. Hey, let's go. Protect what is important to me. I am not good, so let's fight. Let's fight for love. Let's fight for love. Story 55. Someone is knocking on the door. Someone is ringing a bell. Please do me a favor, open the door and let them in. Story 56. Tell your boyfriend if he has an issue that I am a vegetarian and I am not afraid of him. Story 57. You are on fire. From Watch Your Step by Bus. All I could imagine was accidentally catching fire in Minecraft, following the You Died screen. Story 58. So Frank went to the doctor and said he needed a change from a car to a garage in his home down on the range. However, they messed up the paperwork to trim his Lucky Charm. When he woke from the anesthesia, he only had one arm. Story 59. I found someone new, and you may say she's not impressive. She may not be much to look at, but she looks good to me through the bottom of the glass. Story 60. So you are a superstar. Get off your cross. We need the wood. Tori Amos. Big wheel. It was the first time I had ever heard that phrase. Story 61. Farside Soulflower. Remix. I can dig kung fu, I flip people like judo. Never date someone who has a parent named Bruno. Beastie Boys. B-boy making with the freak. Sample used in the song. If I had known it was going to be this kind of party, I would have put my foot in the mashed potatoes. Story 62. And in a feud with her neighbor, she stole his dog and died at Key Lime Green. Taylor Swift last Great American Dynasty. Story 63. He thinks they have grown apart. Now she uses big words like surreal and genre. Some events are held for charity and some for fancy dress, but when they are held for pleasure, they are the events I like best. My events are always bouncing from the left to the right. It's my belief that my big events should be held every night. I have big events. Story 64. The first lines of this song by Selwyn Birchwood are, "Down where rebel flags meet Mickey Mouse, down where the Wild West meets the dirty South, a phenomenon that can't be explained, goes by the name of Florida Man." Story 65. Shush, girl, be quiet. Communicate through your actions. It's humorous, but not in the way the artists intended. Story 66. Condom, large size, finger your mother in Five Guys. Just because it's recent, it's still lingering in my mind. Story 67. Brian McKnight once said, "Let me show you how your body works. If you can listen to that song without laughing, you win." Story 68. Someone left my cake out in the rain. I don't think I can take it because it took too long to bake it, and I will never have that recipe again. Story 69. You are so beautiful. You could be a waitress or an air hostess in the 1960s. You were so beautiful and you could be a part-time model. Story 70. But you should have seen the look in her eyes when that squirrel jumped her garters and crossed her thighs. The first time I heard that song, I literally fell over. I was laughing so hard. Story 71. Well, I'm not the world's most passionate guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Story 72. I have always loved Steely Dan's line in FM, "Nothing but blues and Elvis and somebody else's favorite song." If that last phrase doesn't capture the essence of listening to the radio, I don't know what does. Yes, I find that phrase funny, just to be clear in case no one else does. Story 73. Who's in the hot tub? It looks like stew or something like that. It's been a while since I've listened to it. It's Weird Al's classic party at the leper colony. Story 74. Didn't have to take her on a date, just had to stand here on a crate. No talking, no torment, no long-term commitment. Just me and the animal, getting my desires met. Story 75. She was married when we first met and was soon to be divorced. I helped her out of a difficult situation, but I may have used a bit too much force. Story 76. Funniest two songs on YouTube. The Loophole by Garfunkel and Oates. Total Eclipse of the Heart, the literal version. Story 77. So if you call us ginger, you can't complain if you're injured. If you don't have a hint of ginger in your mindset. Story 78. She has a light-skinned friend who looks like Michael Jackson and a dark-skinned friend who also resembles Michael Jackson. Story 79. Remember when I moved in with you and the holy dove was moving too? And every breath we drew was hallelujah? I cringe and laugh every time. Story 80. It all began when I went on a tour, hoping to find some furniture. I followed a sign that said, "Beautiful chest." It led to a lady who showed me her best. She was surprised when I quickly closed my eyes. Story 81. Flipping this one final switch, I am effectively ensuring that I will be overcoming all resistance long after my remains have been vaporized with extreme prejudice and shot into outer space. Story 82. I'm trying to find the words to describe this girl without being disrespectful. Wow, girl, you are very attractive. Story 83. I dislike the artist, but I have a whirlpool. Don't even ask. Licking underwater, creating bubbles. Story 84. I was stopped by a police officer in my car. She instructed me to exit the vehicle and spread my legs, then attempted to make unwanted physical contact. Story 85. Hey everyone. Will you all please listen to me? Story 86. This condition I have is crucial. You could say that I'm a terminal case. You could ruin my clothes or damage my ride, but maybe not the ride. Story 87. I felt like I was carrying the team on my back. I endured a lot for that. I felt confident in my appearance. The first time I heard this song, I laughed so hard at his delivery of that line. He has amazing style and flow when rapping. He can really say anything, and it resonates, in my opinion. Story 88. Late at night, I write my own movie and I am the star when I close my eyes. Except I look like Julia Roberts and you are just the unfortunate person that I walk on by. Story 89. I would say Kanye's newer song, which I believe we all recognize, includes the line, saying I'm acting like Hitler, but how am I acting like Hitler when I am? It is quite nonsensical considering everything he has done. Story 90. 9 pirate girls, pirate girls, pirate girls, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One named Polly had a parrot. The second named Polly had a parrot too. That's the part that is confusing, and they were identical twins. The third was Nancy. She was fancy and walked around with a fake tattoo. For through 9 were all named Peggy, and each one only wore one shoe. Story 91. You have been telling me you are a genius since you were 17. In all the years I have known you, I still do not understand what you mean. Story 92. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to fetch her dog a bone. When she arrived, the cupboard was empty, and the dog had a bone of his own. George Clinton's Family Series. Story 93. She is so tough, as pure as driven snow. That is not jewelry she is talking about. It really doesn't cost that much. Story 94. That song by KSI's brother features the lyrics, I don't care. I used a urinal. I don't mind. I do it in a cubicle. It's not just the lyrics themselves, but the way it's delivered that really gets to me. Story 95. My girl sits in the back because I have a medical condition affecting my groin. Story 96. Rap conflicts can escalate to violence. You criticize, then we will respond. He was shot, but he didn't die. Just kidding, he actually did. King Von. It's somewhat amusing because when detectives question serial killers, it's difficult to discern whether the killer is speaking generally or indirectly boasting about their actions. Story 97. Look out ahead. There is a truck changing lanes. You have some yellow crumbs on your upper lip. Those warts will not go away unless you start using topical cream every day. Story 98. More so the delivery than the lyrics, but I definitely feel Why Don't You Love Me by Post Malone. In the middle of a cold, dark night, I heard a sound and thought to myself, what was that? I got up and checked. It was you walking out my door. You said you loved me just moments before. Why did you lie? What happened? Story 99. Here I am, and I will be here forever unless I move over here. Actually, this whole song makes me laugh. Story 100. And then I set fire to his car and just walked away feeling good about myself because for once in my life, I showed a little restraint. Story 101. Did you shapeshift those punchlines? Because they missed your skill like your reflection. It doesn't exist. Story 102. The one and only AI song I made on Suno was inspired by a suggestion here that said, just enter the things you like. So I typed, I like goats, space, trees, and colors, and I set the genre to rock. Oh my gosh. Goats, space, trees, and colors. That's my jam. Rocking with the rhythm, just like a ram. The music makes it so much funnier. It is my theme song. Story 103. All you ladies leave your man at home. The club is full of fathers and their roosters are fully grown. My 12-year-old brain thought those were the correct lyrics to Jump In, by Destiny's Child. Story 104. Every time I eat vegetables, it makes me think of you. Story 105. One of the best pre-song intros ever. Officer, may I see your driver's license and registration? Driver, certainly. Officer, what are you doing? Driver, chewing chocolate. Officer, where did you get it? Driver, the dog dropped it. Officer, carry on. Intro, Butthole Surfers chewing George Lucas chocolate. Song, Butthole Surfers Goofy's concern. Story 106. There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with me. I hope your stepson doesn't eat the fish. Gonorrhea Gorgonzola. Gonorrhea Gorgonzola. Look at me. I'm a cow. I have killed Farmer Brown. Now I sit here with the cows. I have killed Farmer Brown. Story 107. Excluding novelty tracks, MacArthur Park is melting in the dark. All the sweet green icing is flowing down. Someone left my cake out in the rain. I don't think that I can take it because it took too long to bake it. And I'll never have that recipe again. Story 108. For your consideration, an excerpt from Semicolon by The Lonely Island. I'll take you where you've never been. Oxnard. Then make you suck a bull's nut. Oxnard. If Miss Moore married Josh. Demi Brolin. A comma and a dot. Semicolon. Story 109. It's lyrics. But I always randomly get this song stuck in my head and giggle. Hey there, kids. I see you're feeling blue. Parents push you around and tell you what to do. Dad makes you clean your room and go to bed. Instead of watching TV, you have to do homework instead. And I know it makes you angry and you're full of rage. Well, let me tell you a secret I wish I knew at your age. Next time you're angry and you want to fight back, just tell your teacher Daddy likes to play with your sack. Story 110. Who does that belong to? I'm going to enjoy it like groceries. This is your anthem, go on and shake that. Surfboard, grinding on that surface, grinding on that surface. All I got was plastic plants. Many more. Story 111. Mud, glorious mud. Nothing quite like it for cooling the blood. I'm a new, big six-wheeler scarlet-painted London Transport diesel-engined 97 horsepower omnibus. Story 112. On the National Express, there is a cheerful hostess selling snacks and tea. She provides drinks and theatrical gestures for a high fee. Miniskirts were in fashion when she danced down the aisle back in 1963. But it is difficult to manage when your size is comparable to that of a small country. Story 113. You're like a kid who found a puppy, and now you're stylish. But tell me, where did you find an underweight rapper? Story 114. He is an Adams County sheriff. He is hungry and quite large. He was sniffing for marijuana. Then he smelled something else. It was Mama's lemon pound cake. Story 115. DDT had a significant impact on me. Now I am truly unwell. I suppose I'll have to inform them that I have no cerebellum. Story 116. Mr. Crowley, won't you ride my white horse? Mr. Crowley, it's symbolic, of course. It makes me laugh every time. Story 117. Here she comes, a funky fried cutie. Mr. Jimmy Pop Ollie is going to get some attention because I'm Mr. McFeely with a speedy delivery. You'd think I was a ditch the way this girl was interested in me. But maybe I should check and see if this is where I want to be. Hey, Lupus, is she cute? Yes, for a pygmy. Oh, what do you know? You're probably going home alone, and it wouldn't be the first time that I gave a dog a bone. Plus, beauty is only skin deep. It's in the eye of the beholder, and my beholder is about to tweak. I could tap that barrel. In fact, I know I can. It's a menage a trois. You, me, and Heineken. Story 118. Kinky Friedman in men's room near Los Angeles. When he finds a picture of Jesus on the floor in the stall, I picked it up with loving care. I wondered who had placed it there. When I saw there was no paper on the roll, I said, Lord, what would you do? If you were me and I was you? Take a chance, save your pants or your soul. Story 119. I woke up this morning with a bad hangover, and my penis was missing again. This happens all the time. It's detachable. Story 120. It's grown on me since, but listening to two of my favorite singers' first collaboration in years and getting hit with Up the Ante was an experience. Also, how can I be homophobic? My partner is gay. Story 121. Mexican Americans may not prefer to wake up early in the morning, but they do so at their own pace. Story 122. So I went to the Coast Guard to see what they were guarding. Look at what the sign says, you fool. We are guarding the coast. Story 123. It's a perfect day for getting unstuck, dancing like you can't hear the beat, and not giving a second thought to things like these. Story 124. This whole song, Self-Esteem, song by The Offspring. I wrote her off for the 10th time today and practiced all the things I would say. But she came over and I lost my nerve. I took her back and made her dessert. Now I know I'm being used. That's okay because I like the abuse. Story 125. Fish heads, fish heads. Roly-poly fish heads, fish heads, fish heads. Eat them up, yum. In the morning, laughing, happy fish heads. In the evening, floating in the soup. Ask a fish head anything you want to. They won't answer, they can't talk. I took a fish head out to see a movie. Did not have to pay to get it in. They can't play baseball, they don't wear sweaters. They are not good dancers, they don't play drums. Story 126. Jeff Buckley Hawk Tua. I don't know if this is an actual song or just my imagination, but if someone has actually created a parody of this song, please let me know. Story 127. It was a one-eyed, one-horned giant purple people eater. It's a tiny, yellow polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time tonight. Do what diddy dum diddy do. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.